Imagine you just robbed a bank. Congratulations! You're holding $2 million in cash. There's just one tiny problem. You can't spend it. Not on a house, not on a car, not even on a really nice dinner. Because the second you try to buy anything significant, someone's going to ask, "Hey, where'd you bet all this money?" And "I found it" is not going to cut it. This right here is the criminal's oldest headache. And the solution they came up with is so clever, so brazen, and so widely used, it's almost beautiful. They call it money laundering, and today we're going to find out exactly how it works. First, what even is dirty money? Before we talk about washing money, let's talk about why it's dirty in the first place. Dirty money is just money that came from illegal activity. Drug sales, fraud, corruption, bribery, tax evasion, whatever it is, the government didn't get their cut, and you definitely don't want them finding out. The problem is that money leaves a trail. Every time money moves through a bank, an investment, a purchase, it leaves a footprint, and investigators follow footprints. So the goal of money laundering is simple. Take money that screams, "I'm from a crime," and turn it into money that whispers, "I'm totally normal. Please don't look at me." That's it. That's the whole game. Money laundering has three classic stages. Stage 1, placement. This is the riskiest stage. You have a pile of physical cash and you need to get it into the financial system without anyone asking questions. Think about it. If you walk into a bank with a duffel bag containing $800,000 in small bills, the teller is going to have some questions. Possibly the FBI is also going to have some questions shortly after. So criminals get creative. The classic method? Smurfing. No, not the little blue guys. Smurfing is when you break your giant pile of cash into dozens of small deposits, each one carefully just under the amount that triggers automatic bank reporting. In the US, that threshold is $10,000. So you'd make deposits of $9,800, $9,500, $9,750, spread across multiple banks, multiple accounts, multiple days. Sometimes they literally hire people, called Smurfs, to physically go bank to bank making deposits. It's tedious, it's slow, and it's honestly kind of a boring job for a life of crime. Another method? Cash-intensive businesses. You buy or start something like a restaurant, car wash, or bar that handles lots of cash daily. It's hard to check if their sales are real. Mix your dirty money with legit earnings, pump up the numbers, like claiming 400 fake customers, and deposit it all as normal business cash. Stage 2. Layering. Okay, the money's in the system. Now you need to make sure no one can trace it back to you. This is where it gets elegant, or ridiculous, depending on your perspective. The goal of layering is to move money around so many times through so many accounts across so many countries that investigators eventually give up. You're building a paper trail that goes nowhere, on purpose. Wire money from Bank A in Country 1 to a shell company in Country 2, which loans it to another shell company in Country 3, which invests it in Country 4, which sends dividends back to a personal account in Country 1. After 5 or 6 moves like this, even trained financial investigators lose the thread, and that's the whole point. Shell companies are very useful for this. A shell company is a company that exists legally on paper, but does basically nothing in real life. No employees, no products, no office, just a name, an address, and a bank account. In places like the British Virgin Islands, the Cayman Islands, or Delaware, yes, Delaware, right there in the good old United States of America, you can create a shell company for a few $100s, and the real owner's name doesn't have to appear anywhere public. So if investigators try to figure out who owns the money, they find a company, which is owned by another company, which is owned by a trust, which is managed by a lawyer, bound by attorney-client privilege, in a country with strict bank secrecy laws. Congratulations, you've hit a wall. Stage 3. Integration. This is the finish line. The money's been placed into the system. It's been layered beyond recognition. Now it comes back to you, clean, legitimate, ready to spend on a yacht, or a penthouse, or just a very relaxing retirement. Here are some popular tricks criminals use. The first is real estate. Buy a high-end condo in Miami or London through a fake company. Hold it for a year, then sell. Boom, your cash is now profit from a property deal. Cities are full of empty luxury flats owned by these mystery companies. Bad for renters, great for crooks. Third is art. A painting sells for $50 million. Nobody's checking whether it was actually worth that. Nobody's requiring disclosure of where the money came from. The art world is notoriously opaque, which is why it's notoriously used for this. You invest in art, you sell later. Clean income. Plus, you get to hang something nice on your wall while you wait. The United Nations estimates that between $800 billion and $2 trillion is laundered globally every year. That's 2 to 5% of global GDP. Of all the money laundered every year, investigators successfully seize roughly 1%. 1%. Criminals are running a 99% success rate. If any other industry had a 99% success rate, we'd call it a miracle. In crime, they just call it Tuesday.